Hi everyone, welcome to the Goya Higher Learning class. So this is going to be a continuation of the Apex Paragon course. In the AP course, we saw basically the basics of trading, how to build ideas, how to use the different technical tools, how to read the fundamental, the economic calendar, all of that good stuff. But here in Goya, we're going to go a bit more advanced. So this is really destined for those traders who have been trading for 1, 2, 3 years and are looking to go to the next level, to put their focus on the right elements of the market and basically are in it for the long term. Okay, so for the basic stuff, for all the technical tools, please refer to the AP course. In the Goya, we are going to be discussing how to have the right market perspective. We're going to talk about how to build a solid trading plan, what to focus on, and basically how to turn your trading that you're doing right now with all the different technical tools that you're using, with the fundamental that you're reading, and basically turning it into something that is consistent and profitable for the long term. Okay? Your trading just needs a bit of tweaking on from a few places. So this is what we're going to do in this course. Okay, so on that note, let's get started. So let's start with the first question and the most important one. Okay, why are you not profitable? If you're here watching me do this course right now, I would assume that you're not profitable or not as profitable as you want to be. So you've been trading for a few years now, you've done a few courses, or you have learned by yourself, you know how the market works, you know how to use the tools, you've made money on a few days, on a few weeks, on a few months even, but at the end of the day, you're still not profitable, okay? There's a reason for it, okay? So let's go through the 3 biggest mistakes that traders make and what is the solution for them, okay? So let's start with number 1, which is basically the lack of capital, okay? So most traders don't trade with enough money. If I give you $1 million account right now and I told you just risk 0.5%, 1%, 0.25%, take your time, be slow with your trading, only select the best opportunities. If you're a trader that has a bit of experience, a few years let's say, you will be able to make it work and you will be able to make money. Okay, you're going to be able to make a lot of money, let's say decent money. You're going to be making at least six figures per year, selecting the best trades because you're going to take your time and your risk is going to be low. Okay, so the lack of capital is really the first step to overcome as a trader, and it will allow you basically, when you have more capital, to reduce your risk, to be more patient with your trades, and basically you're going to improve the quality of your trading. Okay, let's say you have an account with $2,000. Basically what's going to happen is you will want to flip it, right? Let's say you want to bring it to 10k or 20k or 50k eventually, and so on and so forth. What are you going to do? Even if you're conscious or unconscious, you're going to risk a lot. Okay, your risk is going to be too high because you will want to progress, and with a higher risk comes also impatience in your trading. You're not gonna be as selective in your opportunities. Okay, since you're starting with such a low amount of money and you're really looking to progress, to see that progress in terms of, let's say, money that is going to impact your life, you would need to make a 5x, a 10x, a 20x, whatever the amount, whatever with the amount balance you start with. Okay, to achieve those kinds of return, you will have to risk a lot and you will need to make a lot of trades, a lot of volume of trades to be able to have those returns, right? So by making those kinds of risk to gain that type of return, you're basically gonna burn yourself. You're not gonna be able to filter properly your trade, and that's not going to make you profitable. Okay, so what's the solution here? Okay, well, simply to have a bigger account. So what happens if you don't have the money to have, let's say, a 50k, 100k account? Well, nowadays we have prop firms, which are a really good tool to use if you don't have the funds, if you have not saved up enough money to trade with large accounts. So you might ask me, hey Sami, what's a good amount to trade with? What is enough money to trade with? Well, I would say anything between 50K and 200K is good. I mean, most prop firm challenge offer the 50K, 100K, 200K challenge that you can buy for $500, $1,000, whatever the price might be. And you take the challenge, and then you have access to a larger account. That should be plenty enough for you to lower your risk, take your time, and basically grow slowly but surely in your trading. Okay. Also, by having a funded account with a prop firm, you also ensure that since you've made a challenge and you paid for that service, and now that you have your account and you don't want to lose it, you're gonna make sure that you are a lot more careful with that account. You're gonna respect that money a lot more. You're gonna be patient, and you're gonna wait for the best possible opportunities. If price gets close to your area but doesn't touch it, you're not gonna rush into the trade, because you know there's another trade around the corner. If you have a 200K account, okay, and let's say you risk 1%. Okay, let's say for the example, so you're risking about 2K. So let's say you have a risk reward of 4 on the trade. If you win the trade, you're gonna make 4%. So that's gonna be 8K, right? So just by making one trade a month with a 200K account, you would be making about 8K profit, okay, with a 4% return in this example. Most prop firm now will offer you 80 to 90% profit split, so you're gonna be able to keep almost 90% of the profit that you're gonna be making on that prop account, that funded account. And for most people, that's enough money to pay your bills, live your life, be a trader full time. And that's just one single trade in the whole month, right? So knowing this information, you know that you don't have to rush trades, and basically you're going to slow yourself down and you're going to focus on more quality. Your risk is going to be lower, and that's going to be your first step to becoming profitable. Okay? So you get the idea. You know what I mean. So let's get to the second part. Okay? So the second element, the second mistake of traders, second mistake of traders that they make that makes them non-profitable, it's their lack of structure and difficult trading rules. Okay, so the market is very large. There's so many different instruments to trade. The market is open 24 hours, 5 days a week. You can trade, currencies, you can trade commodities, you can trade indices, you can trade even crypto now on the forex brokers now. So there's so many different instruments, there's so many different possibilities that it's easy to get lost and try a bit of everything. I open the trade on Euro USD, and then maybe the next day I open another trade on gold, and then on Wednesday I open another trade on US 30, and basically you're just splitting yourself left and right, and the quality of your trading is reduced. Okay, you don't have any structure, and you don't have a very, very rigorous trading rule set. Okay, so the first thing you must do is make a selection. Okay, choose one or two pairs that you love, one or two instruments that fit with your personality, that you understand, that you're able to read the fundamental correctly, that you can look at the price action and understand what's going on, and make them your only instruments that you trade. Okay, so for me personally, I like gold, and I like the Dow Jones. Okay, in my opinion, those are the best instruments to trade as a trader, so of course I'm going to recommend them, and if you want to trade them, please trade them as well. If you prefer another instrument like GBP USD or USD JPY or GBP JPY, trade that one as well. There's no problem with that. But limit yourself to one or two basically instruments. Okay? And then you have to build yourself a daily routine and make sure you trade always the same types of trade. Okay, you have to be very, very difficult with your trading, and you gotta make sure that your trading is always, let's say, the same. You always take the same types of trades in the same way with the same risk, and you try to build a consistency in your trading. Okay, that's gonna allow you to make way less trades. Okay, so your volume of transaction is going to go lower, and since now you have more capital, it doesn't really matter, because even if you make 1, 2, 3, 4 good trades in a month, that's way enough, good trading to basically progress, pay your bills, make money, and progress basically in your trading career. That you can basically reduce the volume and just focus on the quality of those trades and specialize in understanding those currencies, okay, those instruments. So let's say, for example, I usually trade gold and US 30 all the time. I look at them every day, throughout the day, week after week, month after month. Of course, I'm going to be more precise in my trading than if, for example, I want to go back and trade GBP USD, but I haven't looked at the price action for a few days or a few weeks. I don't know exactly what has happened in those last few days, last few weeks, so I'm not in a advantageous position to understand what's going on and to make the best possible trade. So of course, by having 1 or 2 pairs that you follow all the time, you know the story, the narrative behind the price action, and you're going to be way more precise in your trading. Okay, so basically less trading. The goal is to do less trading, okay, and focus on the same best opportunities, okay, and basically just use more money, and basically that's going to allow you to be more precise in your trading. So instead of having a 50-60% accuracy rate, you might go up to 75, 80, 85% accuracy rate, okay? The opportunities that you're taking are basically always the same. They're basically roughly the same types of trade based on the same types of idea. Bullish or bearish, doesn't matter, depends on the fundamental context, but it's the same spirit of idea, and we'll explain it a bit later when we get to that part. And basically you're gonna just put more money on every quality trade, and that's gonna allow you to grow. Okay, so that's the best recipe to be profitable. Okay, there's no other way. There's no more optimal way to structure yourself to be as efficient as possible in the market and be as profitable with the best accuracy rate. Okay, let's say. So now for number 3, best price or no price. So it's basically linked with number 2. It's the continuation of the idea. So you gotta have a strict criterias to enter into a transaction. Be difficult in your selection, limit your transaction. Okay, so best price or no price, always keep that in mind when you're trading. If you're looking for a certain technical point to enter, let's say we have a certain retracement, and here you have a 38, and here let's say you have a 78 fib, okay? And you see that both levels in terms of technicals are valid, okay? Here you have a MA coming here, but here you have a psychological number, and then you have a big, let's say, daily support at this level. But you know that the market could bounce at 38, but it could also bounce at 78. Always keep in mind, best price or no price, okay? So what's the best price in this scenario? Is it the 38 or the 78? Of course, it's going to be the 78. This is going to be the best price to enter in the trade. Is there a big possibility that the price never comes back here and just bounces at the 38? Yes, there's a possibility of that. But you must fight that FOMO, that fear of missing out the trade, and just wait for the market to to its best possible technical price. And on most trades, there's going to be 1, 2, 3 technical levels that are going to be important. Wait for the market to go to its best possible price, so you ensure yourself that you have the best probability of success in your trade, the best risk to reward, and your position in the best possible way in your transaction. Okay. Now, is there going to be some times that the market is not going to reach the best price and you're going to miss the trade? Yes, of course. Okay. I would say at least 50% of the time, the price will not go to the best price and you will not enter in the trade and you will miss the trade. But that's okay. That's okay to miss trades. Okay. You don't have to take every single trades that come up on your way. Okay. You just have to take the best possible trades and make sure to take the best possible opportunity and use a lot of money on those opportunities to grow and make yourself profitable. Okay, so first step really is to make sure that you have enough capital to trade, to have enough money to put on good opportunities. Then you're gonna be making less trades because you're gonna be focusing on the best possible opportunities. So more quality, less quantity. And of course, with that idea, you're always going to wait for the best price or no price. Okay. So it's either we get the best price to enter in the trade, or I just don't enter in the trade at all. And by doing that, all these three elements together, you will ensure that you will be profitable. You will ensure that you're always perfectly positioned in the market. And if you lose a trade, well, if you've done all the steps correctly, maybe just the idea was not good, or maybe something happened in the market that was out of your control, and it happens. It's a loss, it's okay. But you took the best, let's say, statistical trade that you could have taken, and basically on 10, 20, 50, 100 trades over the years, you're going to see that your success rate is going to be a lot higher, and you're going to be way more profitable than if you make compromises in your trading. Okay, so I know it's easy to explain in a theoretical in terms of theory right now in the market, because there's in the course, because there's no emotion right now. But when you get in the market and you trade live day after day, you might get that fear of missing out, those emotion. Man, I missed that trade, or man, I feel like I'm not trading enough. I should be looking at more opportunities. You get those natural human emotions that is going to affect your psychology and make you basically not follow these recommendations, these rules. And that's where traders make the mistake of going out of the right way. Okay, so you gotta make sure also that you keep your psychology in check. And honestly, it's just a question of experience. If you're able to trade, let's say 2-3 months perfectly and keep your psychology in check, honestly, after those 2-3 months that you've been fighting with yourself, fighting the urge to get into other trades, to jump into trades because you have the fear that it doesn't touch your best price, once you have fought over yourself for 2-3 months, it's going to become very natural, and it's going to be like a automatism that's going to repeat over and over and over again, and you won't even need to fight over yourself to manage your psychology. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this section.